Hey, so we're looking at Meta, sticking with the FANG stocks. If you've been watching some of the more recent videos I've been putting out. Um, so the last time we looked at this was about 3 weeks ago, and 3 weeks ago was probably around, let's actually just look at the spreadsheet. 170 was when we looked at this. So 170, that's right at the fair value. And looking at the date, it looks like we were looking at it right here. So if you can see my mouse, it's it's in this really small red candle. At that point, I was kind of hoping, I guess, that it would pull back to the screen line that we had marked out at 150, and that was just based on the fact that we had a lot of trading sideways here between about June and September of 22 before it ultimately crashed, and then it started to rebound and build back up. Um, yeah, so I guess that was kind of the thinking is when we saw it right around here at like 170, I was thinking it would pull back, and that did not happen. It hit that line, and now that seems to be acting as support, at least in the very short term. We can also even draw in uh, a little bit of an uptrend here. This one should be pretty good. Um, that's probably not the best line, but that is kind of where I'm drawing this one in. And that'll give us a little bit of headway. Um, and then I don't know if I can copy. No, it doesn't let me do that. But if I were to draw in, say, another trend line, trying to catch like the tops, trying to make it kind of parallel, and so it looks like again, and that's probably not the best representation of the upward trend line, but uh, with that, it looks like it's just above our upward trend line. So right away, I want this one to pull back for sure. Um, as we look at these lines, these were a very short window, about actually like $40. So it wasn't all that short. It looks short because of how much this fell so quickly. So if we just zoom in a little bit, um, we'll see how this one plays out. It's clearly in an uptrend. I just want this one to pull back a little bit. So I am going to be patient with this one. I think there's going to be a week or two where just something comes up and it's going to pull back. Ideally, um, at this point, I think I'm willing to write off that 150 point. I don't think it's going to pull back that hard, at least not in the next like month. But who knows? Maybe it will. Um, but I think it's definitely likely that it can at least pull back to the gold uptrend line, the lower limit of our uptrend line. And so a price point, at least for next week for me, would probably be around, the 170. If we can catch it at 170, even though uh, I was saying that's the fair value for this, that might just be a decent time to buy now because it's clearly in an uptrend. And if that continues to happen for a couple weeks or so, we can make some money off that. So I'm going to add that in as another buy point at 170. I'll update the dates. We have the short-term uptrend. We're seeing a theme here with some of these that they're all kind of following the same type of pattern. And currently it's at 195. Uh, yeah, we'll just leave it at that for now. I think if we zoom back out to 2021, let's zoom out a little bit further. If it continues to climb like next week, and it looks like after hours, it did pull back 5% at least on Friday, and we still saw this much growth. That's something to be interested about. Um, But yeah, I mean, if it keeps climbing, I mean, there's a lot of potential with this one where you could still see it double up. I think, again, what we have time, because even on this climb, I mean, there was times where it pulled back. And so that's more or less all I'm waiting for on this one is to see a slight pullback on this one. Uh, doesn't even have to be much, but just within this range. I think if we were to add in, say, we can add in a horizontal line here, and this one we can draw in, half speed. It looks like we had, this could be slight resistance for it at around 227. This was like pre-pandemic. It came close to it, but rejected um, after the initial crash back in like early 22. It acted as resistance in April of 22, and then just plummeted after that. Cleared downtrend. So I think there will be some resistance there. So we can think about that. Um, and then if it can get above 227, uh, barring any like crazy news, I think it could chop sideways for a little bit between that and about 300. Uh, that probably is going to take a couple months to actually uh, come to fruition here, but right now that's kind of how I'm seeing it. So these horizontal lines will probably get updated in the coming weeks, but for right now, uh, that's how I'm seeing it. Hopefully, it pulls back to 170. That would be a decent time for me to jump in this one. I think I have Meta, at least to some degree, in my portfolio. I would like to add more. I just want to get it at a better price, is all. So here's all we have for Meta. We updated the price to 195. We have these new buy points added to 170. And currently it's in that short-term uptrend. We'll see how that continues. In terms of like a sell point, and again, I'm not really into that right now, doing the sells or shorts, especially on an uptrend stock. But what I'm looking for is what's going to happen next week, because it just passed what I thought would have been a sell point, and I'm not going to say it crushed it, but it clearly passed it by, at one point, it passed it by like $20. It did pull back ultimately to 195, so about $10. I just want to see it pull back a little bit more, and then I'd probably add into this one, and hopefully I can just carry on watching the uptrend continue forward. But because it got past that, I think the next point that may give this stock some trouble is 227. So we'll see how it kind of dances around over the next month, roughly. But hopefully we're checking it, once or twice during that 1 month period. And yeah, we'll just kind of see how it plays out. Um, Otherwise, I don't really recall any really major news with Meta. They might have a deal with somebody, but nothing's really coming to mind. So if there's something that you know about them and you want to share, let me know. Keep us all in the know about this stock. Please leave it in the comments. I'd be happy to read that. Otherwise, yeah, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.